I have been a huge Warhammer fan since like 99, 2000, when a couple of friends of mine, one of my best friends, introduced me to the series through the original miniatures, and then obviously all the video games which kept being pumped out throughout the years. So this is a list of my top 10. This is not the top 10. This may not be your top 10. This is my top 10. They're more often than not really in specific order, apart from the 3 to 1 are my most favourite ones. The rest of them I do all like and I do play equally. And there are more Warhammer games that I do play and enjoy. They just didn't make the list, which is, absolutely fine. So, to start off, we have got Boltgun, which is a sequel to the original Space Marine game. Interestingly enough, I did not know that until I researched it, but it is. It's a sequel, so it's based between Space Marine and Space Marine 2, which is really, really cool. Now, this is essentially Warhammer Doom, which is really, really cool, or what the younger gamers are now calling a boomer shooter. Boomer shooter. Stupid name. Basically, this game is just carnage. You go through multiple different levels. There is a really cheap DLC that you can buy as well, which is really cool. There's extra game modes that you can munch through as well, and it's got a lengthy story. You have to find keys to open doors, destroy enemies, purge the chaos, purge the heresy. It is a ton of fun, and if this gameplay doesn't do it for you, then I don't know what will. This game is just very addictive and very damn awesome. There are cool boss fights, there are really cool enemies, and there are multiple different weapons for you to be able to use, like the bolt gun, the shotgun, plasma rifle, all the awesome stuff that you've come to expect from Warhammer 40,000. Up next is Chaos Gate Demon Hunters. Now this game is really awesome. This one is turn-based. It's more like XCOM if you've ever played that. So you lead the Grey Knights and you're going through and you can move around this galactic map, and there are random encounters and all that kind of cool stuff. I have not completed this one yet, but I have put a lot of hours into it and I really do enjoy it. I keep restarting. Every individual Grey Knight that you have, you can customize and you can upgrade them and level them up, and they have different abilities and different skills, and there's some really cool animations, especially when bursting through doors or through just absolutely annihilating enemies, which is of course the forces of chaos, which needs to be purged out at all costs. But it's just a really damn fun tactical, I don't know what you call it, tactical game. Just tactical game. I'm going to say it, tactical game. I'm not a gaming expert. I'm just a video gamer with a YouTube channel, so please, I do apologize for some of my terminologies. I just enjoy video games, and this is one that I really do enjoy because I do like the XCOM style of play. I think it works really well here, and especially with this Warhammer 40k universe, it's just a match made in heaven.
Between us, Purifier. You are the hammer, but I am the one with the burden to wield it.
Come at me, heretics!
Up next is Warhammer 40,000 Inquisitor Martyr. This game is essentially like Diablo, where you can play solo or co-op, and there's 4 playable classes in the game, and I believe more is added via DLC. There's a cover system that you can use as well, and there is just a ton of missions that you can do of different varying difficulties, of course, and there's loads of loot that you can collect and put onto your character to make your character even more awesome. I have not captured footage for it because it's a meaty-odd game and I wanted to get this video done, and I knew that if I'd installed it I'd have just played it until the end of its days. So I just wanted to put on just the trailer footage, and this trailer footage, I will admit, does look a little wank. It looks better than this, 100%, and it is a fun game. It does start a little odd. You start on a ship, and well, that's an abandoned ship, battleship essentially, and then once you've done those handful of missions, then you go out and you can go to all these different planets and locations and choose the missions that you want to do. So stick with it. This game is really good. Is it as good as Diablo 4? No, but it is a really fun Diablo-esque Warhammer 40k game, and I'm all in on that. Up next is Gladius Relics of War. This is a 4X turn-based strategy game. It's essentially Warhammer 40,000 Civilization. It's really fun. Unfortunately, because it's a 4X strategy game, it has 400 million DLC, so if you want everything in the game, you're going to want to wait for a sale because it is damn expensive to get everything. I personally play as the Tau, because I have the Tau in real life. I know a lot of Warhammer 40k players are probably going to hate me for saying that, but the Tau are awesome. Do not sass me, but if you are a fan of 4X strategy games, or if you're a fan of Civilization and of Warhammer and have not played Gladius, that is essentially what it is. So yeah, you can have a ton of fun with this game, and the game can be heavily customized to your liking as well, with all the different options that you can choose. So there is no end of content, no end of replayability with this game.
The Space Marines operate from their singular and massive fortress city, dropped from orbit to further their goals on the ground. The Orcs are a melee-focused race of scavengers who need to keep their animosity high and spread violence across the planet.
Up next is the CRPG Rogue Trader. This game is Baldur's Gate in Warhammer 40,000. This game is super cool. There are multiple different choices and multiple different outcomes to what you want to do. You can build your character and level up your crew and recruit certain people. I'm still pissed that I missed the Space Wolf, but there you go. The first couple of acts are the better acts of the game, but I generally find that the case with CRPGs these days. The same with Baldur's Gate. The first few chapters are always awesome, or acts are always awesome, and then it's still good towards the end of the game, but just not quite as awesome. There are multiple different there's many different planets and areas that you can find. Traveling through the warp, if you haven't spent the resources to make that route super safe, you just randomly encounter demons on your ship, so you got to go and sort them out. You can manage different colonies in different places, and the combat's really awesome, and all the abilities that can be unlocked. There's just so much. I mean, I don't want to make this video far too long, so I'm just going to say, if you are a fan of CRPGs like Pathfinder, Divinity, Baldur's Gate, that kind of stuff, this is that in Warhammer 40,000, and it is super cool.
Peril lurks. An insidious corruption which works to undermine the strength of the Imperium's most staunch defenders. Chaos. Only with uncompromising zeal and steadfast faith can rogue traders withstand the lure of the ruinous powers.
Up next, we have the awesome Darktide, and yes, this is obviously, as you can tell by my name down there, this is actually my footage. I actually have this one installed all the time, and I do play it on the regular. Not super hardcore or super solid, but I do really enjoy this game. It's not quite as good as Vermintide II, but it's getting there. The developers are pumping content into the game. Finally, there's a lot of things to work towards. There's a lot of stuff to grind for. There's a decent reason for you to play Darktide now. When it was released, it was a little bare bones in that department, but in terms of gameplay, it is solid. It's obviously 4-player co-op. You go through all these missions and just complete the missions, and all the while you just get attacked by waves and waves of enemies and big ass bosses that randomly appear in certain places, and it's just a ton of fun, and they keep adding to it, which is great. If you have not tried Darktide out, it is really cool. I do recommend getting it on sale though, and it does go on sale very often, but judging from this gameplay alone, I hope that is enough to encourage you to at least give it a little tinkle yourself. And on that note of Vermintide 2, the next one is Vermintide II. This is the best Warhammer Fantasy game, in my opinion, that they have made. It's incredibly fun, it's got a lot of content, it's got a roguelike mode in there as well. They're putting in a new player versus player sort of Left 4 Dead 2 kind of game mode in as well, which is currently in beta, which is awesome. There is just no end of replayability. There is so much to work towards. There is so much to do in Vermintide 2. It is really damn cool. And yes, it does have the DLC, and some of the cool stuff is locked behind paywalls, but they're not massively expensive, and they go on offer all the time, so I just wait for them to go dirt cheap to pick them up. But besides that, the core gameplay is a lot of fun and really, really awesome, and you will always find players to play with. And although I know in this gameplay it's only me and one other guy and a couple of bots for the most part, but more often than not, it's usually the time of day you play. This is on PC, and I'm always finding players, and I'm always having a ton of fun. Warhammer Vermintide II is definitely worth picking up. It is a fantastic game. Now we are into the top 3, and I know a lot of people are probably going to hate this or not, I don't know, but Space Marine 2 comes in at my number 3. I loved playing through the storyline. It was a little shorter than I would have liked, but what we had was absolutely incredible. The gameplay loop is solid. The game is pretty much the most polished game I've seen in a while. It needed a couple of tweaks here and there, but for the most part, incredibly awesome. There's a load of free content coming out on the horizon, and the game is just jammed full of awesome 40k goodness. If you're a fan of Space Marines or Warhammer, you probably already got this game, but if not, you are missing out. It's a ton of fun. All the different classes that you can play as a Space Marine: Sniper, you can be Vanguard, you can be Heavy, you know, just take your pick. The Bulwark with the shield, if you want to be a shield wanker online. Just go nuts. The animations in killing the Tyranids and the Chaos is incredibly awesome, and I mean, I don't know what more I can say that has not already been said. This Space Marine 2 game lived up to all of its hype and then some, and it's just a damn good game. Is it a game that I play day in, day out, all day and every day? If it had more levels or more roguelike randomized mode, possibly, but because it's only the same 8 odd missions that you play through on operations mode, it can get a little samey. It's still fun to play, but it can get a little samey, so I'm just, more often than not now, I play it from time to time, leveling up slowly. I'm not a min-maxer. I don't absolutely savage a game when it comes out and then finish it within 3 days and then never touch it again. I like to elongate my playtime with it. If you like to savage a game straight away, that's cool. You do you. I'm not judging. But Space Marine 2 is definitely up there and one of the best Warhammer games ever made. At number 2, we have Dawn of War, more specifically the Soulstorm expansion, because it has like a galactic conquest single-player mode where you just choose your faction and then you go and choose where you want to battle and try and take over all the territories, which is really awesome, and it was never adopted into Dawn of War 2 or Dawn of War 3. I mean, nothing was adopted into Dawn of War 3. Dawn of War 3 is a video for another time, and I do really, really like Dawn of War 2, and I think that the problem is that if Dawn of War 2 had this like galactic battle conquest mode in it, Dawn of War 2 would be in this spot, but it doesn't. Dawn of War has got all of the factions that the main factions that you'd want. You can customize them by coloring in your army, like in high detail of what you want. Yes, again, I'm playing as the Tau here. Don't at me, bro. And it's just a ton of fun, and it's a really good game to play. It still also has a very active online community. The first and second one does, to be honest, but you want to look in the custom game finder, not in the matchmaking, because you just won't find anybody. But Dawn of War is just a fantastic strategy game, and just reminiscent of especially with Dawn of War 1, I prefer it because it's a lot more command and conquer-y, where you've got to build your buildings and then you have to go around and capture the points of interest to gain resources to spawn new troops. That's really cool. They took some of that away with Dawn of War 2, not too much, and then with Dawn of War 3 they completely stripped it back to like a MOBA, which is bizarre. But Dawn of War 1, especially Soulstorm, is fantastic. When the Dawn of War collection goes on offer, please pick it up. Even Dawn of War 2 is fantastic. But I have to give the edge to Dawn of War 1 because it has a few more options for customization, and it just has more of a proper traditional RTS feeling to it.
We will cut them down. Cut them down.
And coming in at number 1 and my all-time favourite Warhammer game is Total War Warhammer 3. my god, this game is incredible and has so much. If you buy the DLC, it has so much in it. Now, this also can be, you can have if you have Total War Warhammer 1 and 2 and all of their DLCs, they all stack up into this third one. So if you have everything for all three, which obviously is very, very pricey at full price, so I would go onto like CD keys or through sales if I were you. That's what I did, is I gained it all over time. But I finally have all the DLC, and you have so many different options of people to play as, and so many different ways you can play, because each individual general, hero as such, or villain, whatever you want to call them, they all have their own way to play, their own way to do things, whether you're the Nurgle, you're the Chaos, or you're Kislev, or you're the Great Cathay, or the Skaven. Even within the Skaven itself, like I have a real life Skaven army of Clan Eshin, and you can play as the different clans within the game as well. So you can be Clan Eshin and you can send off assassins to go and assassinate other players and other heroes and stuff, and it's just so damn good. It's Total War, and in my personal opinion, I think it's the best Total War game that's been made. I love a lot of the Total Wars, but Total War Warhammer 3 is my absolute favourite, and I cannot stress enough just how much is in this game and how awesome it is. The Immortal Empires game mode just unlocks unlimited replayability. It is so damn cool, but I'm warning you now, do not let the dwarves, any of the dwarves or Kislev or the Great Cathay team up, because if that happens, you will get savaged and you will get bullied off of the map. But thank you very much for watching. This was my top 10 of my favourite Warhammer games. Please let me know yours down below, and like I said, this is not the definitive list, this is my personal list, a personal preference. It's personal. It's not meant to be. I'm not saying definitively these are the best ones, and if you don't agree, you're wrong. Not at all. You can disagree. You can not like them. You can put Space Marine 2 as your favourite if you want. I don't mind. Just let me know your list down below and don't attack anybody, please. But please let me know what you think down below. And as always, thank you very much for watching.